Hello and welcome to Lonely Tree Entertainment. My name is Stephen Monkey Mason and I'm going to have a little rant and tant about Arrow videos, about what the future is for Arrow. And I would like to interact with a lot of people and like to know what people think of my ideas and what people think would happen with Arrow in the future. Now, my job for the last 15 years has been working in film and either working behind the camera or actually working in retail or film, and Arrow Video is great. They've come along and they've established themselves. They've done really well. They've got some really good connections to Hollywood. They've spent a lot of time investing in new technology and new methods of restoring films, or having the respect to restoring films. And a lot of other companies have come along. 88 Films and 101 Films are also two people who do really well. You've also got Arrow Academy, which is a shadow spin-off of Arrow Video. I might have been around first. Get that right. Lonely Tree Entertainment's done a lot of videos with Arrow over the years, from unboxings to sort of like marketing stuff as well. It comes down to HMV and stuff like that. But recently Tremors was announced, and about, well, start of this year I did a podcast with Tremors, and yes, it just broke 100,000 views, and you might find on that I was ranting ages about like how Tremors needs to come out on Arrow Video. And I ended up filming reviews for Tremors in England and New Zealand this year, so check out the channel if you're a fan of Tremors. But I was like, right, Tremors needs to come out on Arrow. And I was getting right, it's Universal Studios, you know, in the method there. Then you had like The Thing. So like when I said The Thing needed to come out on Arrow Video, this thing, someone messages and said, your dreams have come true. And that was a long shot. So I'm not saying I predicted, but I kind of did predict that Arrow would pick up The Thing and Tremors. So we've known that. Sorry, you don't even know that, but I've been building a fence and I've got some fancy stuff in my beard. These are my predictions and some long shots for possible releases down the line. Now my top two, first one is Frighteners. Frighteners has sort of disappeared and reappeared over the last year on Blu-ray. And Frighteners, to me personally, I was living in, where was I? In 1996. I was in Watch Your Waker. And Frighteners was coming out, and it was a massive deal, and like literally went to see Frighteners and I just loved it. And then you're looking around and being in New Zealand, where it was roughly around where it was filmed, it was class. And what it opened up, so you know, ooh, Frighteners. Now I have Frighteners signed by Jeffrey Combs. That's a steelbook. Now that steelbook there is one reason why I think Frighteners will be on the cards. Right, so The Thing and American Werewolf in London were steelbooks like that. Not like that, but like that. And Frighteners is one of them. So Universal have opted to like give Arrow a lot of their stuff, like The Burbs, and they've been restoring them and sending them back across the pond and all that. And it doesn't matter if Scream Factory released them and whatever. So Frighteners is first. One, it's already got loads of extra features on. Two, it's a Peter Jackson project. Yeah, no, Arrow would love to have a Peter Jackson. It might even open up the doors for Bad Taste, Brain Dead, and Meet the Phoebes coming out in like a triple pack. It'd be great to see them come out in each, because these films aren't even out in New Zealand at the moment. So that'd be good if they did that. So Frighteners is my first pick. It's a solid pick, I think. It's by Universal. That whole Universal Studios connection, you know, going off that. So that's my first pick. Second pick is a curveball, because it's Dante's Peak. Why is it Dante's Peak? Dante's Peak, I'm about to do a podcast night for one reason. But Dante's Peak is a movie that came out, and it's Universal. Again, a lot of these may be Universal. I'm just looking at this connection. But Dante's Peak came out on Blu-ray with nothing on it. The DVD's packed full of extras. It's got a really interesting commentary. It goes into bits and bobs. It's kind of like I would have said Twister as well. But the problem was saying, right, oh, Twister might come out. I mean, Twister might, but Twister is a Warner Brothers and Universal combined, which is very rare that actually happens. I think Andal Entertainment, Spielberg's got his fingers in that as well, if I think right back. But, you know, Speed. Like, Speed, again, Speed's 20th Century Fox, so that's probably not going to happen, because now Walt Disney owns that and it's now with the Vault. But anyway, Dante's Peak, again, it's something that, you know, they spend a lot of money, especially on the composites and stuff like that, and it has aged really well. I think Pierce Brosnan's performance is really good. No idea why the old woman gets out of the boat a foot from shore You know, like, I'm going to sacrifice myself for being a cunt all the way through the movie. Sorry to swap, but it's kind of like, yeah, Dante's Peak could happen. That's a red rooster, but I definitely do think Frighteners would come out. Right, so there's a lot of people going, what the fuck? Next one I've got is Cape Fear. Again, it's Universal Studios. Cape Fear has been released on Blu-ray. There's not really there's not really any special editions of Cape Fear. It's just the stripped back version of it. Against the Martin Scorsese, who wouldn't want one of them, his films on their brand. Because a lot of his films, I mean, it's weird. The Irishman's coming out under Criterion Collection. Criterion's been weird actually. They've went from being these old films that you partially heard of or special editions to like The Marriage Story and The Irishman coming out, which were 2 Netflix exclusives. But Cape Fear is on there. Again, this is going back to steelbooks. Present, Dante's Peak would probably just get a flat release on Arrow, like flip back cover, boom, that's it. Frighteners, they could really do a nice big box set. Frighteners has always had the face coming through the wall, but they could really do some great artwork like that, you know, get Afron Jones on there or someone like Graham Humphreys, chase it up a bit. But yeah, Frighteners is always like, yeah, it's Frighteners, sorry, but Cape Fear, I just thought I'd throw that out there because it's like Arrow have released a lot of stuff recently that's already been available. The Thing's been available and still is available on Universal label. It's not like The Thing's disappeared. You can get The Thing on Arrow and you can get The Thing on its original release, because The Thing had a lot of special features when it was first released, and that's the version you can still pick up. That's the version that keeps getting alternative covers. Very soon, a Japanese Laserdisc, a Japanese version of The Thing is coming out, and it is the original Universal, not the Arrow release. The Burbs is released on Arrow Academy. While I remember that, Arrow dropped the ball. Sorry, you dropped the bollock. Again, if you look at the new Waterworld steelbook coming out on Z to the Eye, again, that is not the Arrow release, but it's a stunning steelbook. Why Arrow didn't bring the steelbook out of Waterworld, I have no idea. Waterworld's actually buried in my fish tank. But Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, True Romance, and Last of the Mohicans and Ace Ventura 1 and 2 came out under Arrow Academy. But not Arrow Academy packed for features. Just Arrow release. And you think, would you not suppress them? I mean, they're Warner Bros. Titles as well, mate. That's a very interesting thing as well, because Warner Bros. Titles. Can you imagine if they brought a True Romance special edition out on Arrow? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, especially the extended cut. Or Last of the Mohicans. Big box. Money written all over them. But they've brought them out and kept them available rather than locking away for a couple of years. So yeah, that's a weird one. So I Cape Fear. Right, next one. Darkman. I absolutely love Darkman. Come here. Hey, take the pink elephant. There you go. Just the top of the raft. Right, Darkman, right. Darkman is now available on Blu-ray. 1, 2 and 3 in one box set, approximately $17.99. I enjoyed them. Done the podcast for all 3 of them. I love the Darkman. The 2 and 3 are literally mainly, let's just say it how it is, TV episodes. Liam Neeson does not return. Arnold Vosloo, that's his name, the mummy, comes in to take over. Who I think's a far better Darkman. Darkman, I feel it's a great idea. He's a superhero in the 90s. They brought it out on Blu-ray, but it's a Universal one. The artwork for Darkman stunning. That would look lush on a steelbook. Well, actually, there's a German version of that, but Arrow could do something really good about it. There's definitely a fat box of it. It's a Sam Raimi movie for a start. The soundtrack's amazing. There should be a lot of extra features from back in the day, because Sam Raimi was rocking it then and Universal were doing it, so you would get a lot of stuff. You could even put you could even put the Darkman 1 and 2, but you would separate it. So yeah, Darkman's a definite one for me as well, where we've been on the Universal logo. I just think the artwork they cook up, the posters, again the comedy tracks, they could restore it as well, because again Darkman's got a lot of weird funky stuff going on with it, and like some cuckoo stuff as well. So yeah, Darkman is a definite for me. Next up, I'm gonna say it, American Pie. Seriously, like what the fuck? American Pie is nearly 20 years old. That's terrifying. Yep, that's terrifying. It is 20-year-old. Wow. American Pie changed the game, really, didn't it? Again, it's getting a reboot or whatever the new one is with the girls. But I watched the American Pie. I watched the first three and the fourth one not long back, and I really enjoyed them. But American Pie, I keep pointing over there because I'm sure there's a big box VHS around here somewhere. Dark City. There's a good one. Dark City has been released on Blu-ray but disappeared. So Dark City and Event Horizon, they're two red herrings I'm chucking out there right now, because Event Horizon's mint. Event Horizon on Blu-ray, you get an hour-and-a-half documentary, which is absolutely fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But going back to American Pie, I don't know, I just think, when they've done 16 Candles and Weird Science and they've chucked a few of these red herrings out, American Pie, you know what I mean? There was a lot of coverage about that movie. I'm sure a lot of the cast would come back for it, for like some kind of retrospect and all that. Possibly, there's been a lot of steelbooks of American Pie. I'm sure I've actually got a few of them, especially them snapbacks ones. Not really a nice steelbook, but again, the fat box editions. I would definitely probably go for one of them. But yeah, American Pie, it's 20 years old. They've done recenter stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, whoa. Because at one point you think Arrow, it had to be 80s or past it now, you've got to look. Because at the end of the day, you think about all these films. It's not just 88 films and 101s and the HMV premium label you need to worry about. It's Netflix. Because it's on Netflix, no one's going to fucking buy it. So you need to look at like where the cultness is it. If Darkman came out, yes, I'm going to buy it straight away. Of course I am. What it depends again. Are you going to get the special edition? Are you going to get the steelbook? Are you going to get all three? I did with the Thing and the Burbs. Should have brought a fat version out of the Burbs. Sorry, Arrow, if you're watching this. Right, next up, The Last Starfighter. Last Starfighter has recently been announced. See, it's weird because if you look at Flash Gordon, came out in America as Arrow, but over here as Studio Canal. They're in the game as well, Studio Canal. They recently snapped up all 4 of the John Carpenter movies, very sorted after on their 4K release. They've also got stuff like Total Recall Special Edition, 50 quid box set like that coming out. They're not tiptoeing around. First Blood I would have had on this list, but that's going to obviously come out under Studio Canal. Obviously today they announced like Rambo's coming into Mortal Kombat. I was like, but yeah. So yeah, I would have loved to said First Blood, because First Blood meant First Blood's one of my favourite films. The score, everything like that. Again, the artwork you would get with it, but I think that's going to be. We can't even get a box set of all 5 of them together. Never mean like a special edition. So yeah, that's on there. But yeah, The Last Starfighter. Before I went off about Flash Gordon, it has had an American release. Again, it's the territorial rights. Will it come out? Because normally it'll come out over here and then it'll come out of Screen Factories in America. So this is one that's been sorted after for ages. I personally think The Last Starfighter might just end up on Netflix. I really do. It should come out. There's a lot of people do ask about it. A lot of people have got a lot of love for it. But yeah, that's on the list. Next up, Point Break. Point Break's been available for ages. Even when its remake came around, which obviously flopped, but I think Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, the Eranis, I think again they could get that, really pimp it up, nice box set. I'm thinking box set steelbook, because again Point Break's still been available, but it just sits there. And then sometimes you can spot this happening when films become discontinued. I'm not saying Last Boy Scout and Last Action Hero, they're 2 films that should really be on Arrow because of the nostalgia of them, but like some films disappear for ages and you think, oh yeah, it's probably going to get picked up by some label anniversary, and then all of a sudden it just reappears, just like poof, there you go. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, it's available again. And it doesn't have to be generally released, it just, an offer might come along, like a Decades offer or like a Gangster collection or something like that, and like boom, Casino disappeared, then comes back out with a new cover, not under any label, just there you go. It's just been available for a while. They made some more. Right, so yeah, Point Break. Along from Point Break, and the next one is The Usual Suspects. We're getting to the bottom of my weird list here, because Usual Suspects, I know the director's in a bit in the spotlight right now, especially some of the cast. But I think, again, going back to the Usual Suspects, this might end up on 101 Black Label, probably, mainly because the front cover would look there. But again, there was a lot of extra features back in the day, and it's one of those films that transitions well, but it's always been available on Blu-ray. Again, I'm getting to the bottom of my list. No, I'm not. I've got another side of it. But again, as well as Usual Suspects, I just think it should get like a nice box set. After Usual Suspects, I've got Seven. Seven, you could just see Seven appearing on Arrow Video. Big box. I mean, nothing like, again, if you look at 12 Monkeys, again, that's on Universal. They dropped the balls with 12 Monkeys, right? 12 Monkeys has been available a few times on DVD, on Blu-ray. You know, there's been a lot of editions of 12 Monkeys, and then it comes out on the Arrow, and like, oh yeah, big box special edition. Oh yeah, Steelbook. None. Why? But Seven is kind of, what's in the box is now the front cover. Seven's got a black box. I don't know if that's handy to get a hold of. Nope. I thought I'd seen that the other day. But Seven just has a front cover and it's got what's in the box on it at the moment. Some of Seven's original artwork, not the Brad Pitt deadpan in the front cover when Morgan Freeman's doing his best Danny Glover impression at the side, from the big box VHS. The original, like, it almost looks like a wax painting. You know what I mean, with the back to back kind of thing. I think that would be great. I mean, there's a lot of special features. I mean, David Fincher. There's a lot of extra features on the Seven, because Seven's had a few special editions. You normally get the special edition black box when just written 7 on the box. That's really cool. I just think that would really good on Arrow's label. Again, I'm thinking big box. I'm thinking steelbooks. I'm thinking, you know, stuff that's really good. Next up, that's the bottom of that. I already remember that. That was the missed ones with Robin Hood. Next up, Pump Up the Volume. Christine Slater. Want to see it? There's nothing stopping Arrow bringing Pump Up the Volume out, right? Because they brought 16 candles. It's not like Arrow just does horror and gore now. It's like they'll do weird stuff, like newer stuff, and you think, fuck. But Heathers came out under Arrow. Again, Heathers should have been a big box with some funky Veronica fucking writings in it. Sorry, should have been. Again, Heathers looked amazing. When Christian Slater walks over the hill and you've got that cosmic purple coming up behind him, absolutely stunning. That is the standard these films should be getting released, because some films come out, if you look at Satan's Blade, but no, some films come out and you think, what the fuck, is this a Blu-ray? What's going on here? But Arrow do the really best. But Pump Up the Volume is one of Christian Slater's most breakout roles. Cuffs is my favourite film, and I wouldn't say that Cuffs was going to come out. I would love Cuffs to come out, but that maybe creep out. I mean, it's entertainment and video. Cuffs would probably creep out on 88 or 101. That totally needs release. Again, a lot of these like Cuffs and that have missed DVD. They've not just missed DVD, they've missed fucking Netflix. Do you know what I mean? But Pump Up the Volume had a very brief release on DVD. I recently tracked one down and I've seen it, but I think it's been filed. I'm getting ready to move, so everything's getting... Normally I can go... I mean, I can just go, right, cool. You want to talk about Tremors? Let's talk about what if stories. There's a graboid. And guess who's in this? Me. So check, this is available now. Cheap plug. Arrow fans, there I am. A zombie me. What if stories, check that out. But they're really good concept. They'd be really good at doing some of the artwork. Cheap plug to them. But yeah, Pump Up the Volume. Christian Slater is brilliant on. And again, it's the original podcast movie. You know, hitting out there on the radio, talking to God knows, and becomes a cult phenomenon. And it raises awareness about so many different things. About, again, early 90s, a lot of sexualities, suicides and stuff like that. It raises so much, and Christian Slater is the voice to drive that. Be a mint release on Arrow. Be a mint release. Next up, I talked about this recently. I mentioned the Blair Witch on The Good, the Bad and the What the Fox Volume 1 for Arrow, which I've just recently released. I've just started filming Volume 2. The first entry of it will be The Burbs. And the second entry will be 12 Monkeys. I was halfway through that the other night. But what I'm talking about here is Blair Witch. I'd seen artwork for it when I met a lot of the Arrow guys at one of the horror cons. And I've seen artwork for The Hitcher, and then they've just never seen the light of day. Either there were concept art for ideas to see if there was been interest, but I just remember the little tent in Blair Witch. And I think, well, it's a bit of a weird one to come to Arrow. But is it? You know what I mean? It is out on DVD, Blu-ray. There's always been loads of extra features. The second one, Book of Shadows, had loads of amazing content. I mean, some of the extra features are actually better in the film. Best thing about Book of Shadows is the director. It's like he just talks about the movie, and like he just butchers the studio for putting Marilyn Manson's music over the top and putting the death scenes in when he just wanted very calm music going across the landscape. So it's very interesting. If you're looking for something to watch one night, Blair Witch, Book of Shadows commentary. But yeah, Blair Witch. Blair Witch and Hitcher. There were two concepts I've seen. So yeah, as I say, I've probably itchy nose like. But anyway, next up, Hook. What the fuck? Hook is a fucking long shot, right? Now the reason I say Hook is Hook. Nah, everything's fucking packed. Right, watched Hook recently. It's got fucking no extra features whatsoever. Like nothing. Boom. There's a guy called Yesteryear on YouTube, and he's got this amazing behind the scenes story about Hook. And there was so much behind the scenes footage. For the Blu-ray, it had fuck all on it. I'm like, what the fuck? And there's such a disaster story behind it. Hello? Don't know what the fuck that was. Anyway, it's such a disastrous story, but for not to have any extra features. But if Hook was to come out on Arrow, you're now creeping Arrow towards family films. But we're looking at what Arrow could do to restore it. Again, hoping that Arrow would like see Yesteryear's documentary and go, right, that's really good. Can we get the rights to that? Because there's loads of interviews and archive footage of Spielberg talking about it and how he's filmed, like even going back to Spielberg being directing it in his school play and his love for Peter Pan and how he went off to do something else, then would come back and there's some espionage about the director getting done, and it's all there. Slap it in a box, pull out a fucking map of Neverland. Do you know what I mean? The artwork, you know what I mean? That artwork of Hook, it just looks Arrow anywhere. But yeah, I know. Hook's a long shot. Next up, Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, when it came out, the hype was class. The artwork's always been all over the place. The artwork for the original VHS, when it's got like that, the ladder effect, it's class. I just think that, again, it's 20th Century Fox, isn't it? So it could. I just think that needs a nice restoration. There's something, you know, it's on the borderline of musical. I think one of the things, again, speaking in its native language for when it was done, the breakout performance by Leonardo DiCaprio, and there's loads of people in that movie who became really famous. Jamie Kennedy's rocking around there in his younger years, but so much style. I think the colour would be very well done for Arrow. Again, I'm thinking big box. I'm thinking please keep the original VHS if you're going for a flip cover. But yeah, Romeo and Juliet, John Leguizamo's performance is absolutely class. Next up, believe it or not, that was a reference to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. I was meant to make reference to Ice Cube and Friday. I'm a big Ice Cube fan as well, you know. He drops the mic and pick it up like 4. Yeah, Arrest the President. That's him. That's the Ice Cube I was talking about. Straight out of Compton Ice Cube. That's the one. Friday. Why Friday? Friday, first off, not been available for ages, and it's very, very popular. This film has such a cult following. A box set has been available, it's gone. Friday has been released. It went from its iconic yellow box that you've just seen there to a blue box. You can call the director's cut, so there's alternative cuts out there. There's a lot of hype about it when it was made, because Ice Cube went from being this outlandish rapper in NWA to putting in a performance of Boys in the Hood. That was just breakthrough for him, and then wrote Friday. And yes, Friday 4, Chris Tucker should be back in and just wrap it up and God. But yeah, Friday, it's just a long shot. But again, it was kind of like, again, I'm thinking the artwork. I'm thinking the colour. Friday has a lush, rich colour. So yeah, Friday is on my list. Right, I've only got 3 more. Again, I would love to hear back from people to what they think, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, or this should be that. Say, for example, Highlander 2, I'm just going to chuck this out, needs a UK release because of the Renegade cut. Will that come out in Studio Canal, or could Arrow get it? Let's get it, you know what I mean. Next up, Trainspotting. It's a film 4, but Trainspotting looks like it lives with Arrow. Boondock Saints came out. Film 4 normally holds on to all their films, and then Film 4's films disappear, reappear. Films like Shallow Grave and stuff like that. Blue Juice. I would love to see Blue Juice get a Blu-ray release. Blue Juice with Sean Perdweed and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who you just drop everything what you're doing when you see her in the film. You're like, wow. Anyway, I just thought Trainspotting, the grunginess of it, probably not, but Trainspotting doesn't have really good release. We've got Ewan McGregor shivering, which we've always had, but we've got like the branded. It's weird because Film 4 went from branded, like black and white photos and branded red and white, to now all white. They've done a lot of stuff, brassed off and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot of going around with Trainspotting to have. I mean, imagine Trainspotting in a bright, luminous orange box on the big fat one, or if you know your films and back in the day, it would be green. You know, they were testing which one worked better. Choose life, choose green, choose orange. Swing Trainspotting would be class. Next up, Silence of the Lambs. When you look at about iconic this, and you look at like what Arrow could bring, Silence of the Lambs, it's normally just cropped in now as the Hannibal box set, where you'll get Red Dragon and Hannibal. You still can get Silence of the Lambs on its own, but for how iconic Silence of the Lambs is, and the artwork and the documentaries you can make about it, I think it needs a standalone collection, especially going into the 4K era. I mean, a lot of people love Silence of the Lambs, hate Hannibal, hate Red Dragon, love Manhunter, you know, but then TV series is obviously there is a lot of creepiness about it. But yeah, last but not least, Friday the 13th, the original. It's not going to happen, but I would love to see Friday the 13th on Arrow, just the first one. Again, Friday the 13th, royalty rights is just all over the place. A lot of people are going for the Scream Factory release next year. It's like that. I would love to, but import charge, the customs charge, just fuck off. Postman, just go away. Blu-ray, the start of this year, maybe it's the back end of last year, 1 to 8 came out for 1 week. It just disappeared. It's like if you didn't get it that week, you didn't get it. £30 for the first. But again, it's like Final Friday. You know, like a standalone production, like it'd be class, just absolutely class to see a Friday the 13th on Arrow, because you're not going to get Nightmare on Elm Streets now. They're all just packaged up as one, chucked out. The Halloween is just as bad as Friday the 13th when it comes to like a box set. I get asked all the time, you got a box set? No, there's not one available. I just go and get it from Asda. Like, well, good luck, mate. There's not one available. Or like, oh, it's on Amazon. Well, it might be out in America. I mean, the timeline of Friday and Halloween's just all over the place. But yeah, as I say, I would love to see Prey of the Roller Boys released. Bigfoot and the Hendersons, you know, nothing's safe, you know what I mean? I'm just looking around this room. I'll look around this room for the outtakes, but yeah, I'd love to hear back from anyone who's an Arrow fan of what you think of my suggestions, and, you know, check it in what you could add. I mean, I might have missed a fucking absolute obvious one. I'd be bloody hell. I'd be like, fucking, like, I'm not going to see Gremlins because it's on Warner Bros., but I would fucking love the Gremlins on Arrow. But I'll see you in the outtakes for just a walk around the room, what's left of it anyway, because I'm moving for the next. Right, see you in the outtakes. Right, Curveball. Dream a Little Dream, I would love to see released. Dream a Little Dream's just fucking mental. Dream a Little Dream to me personally just as good as Heathers. So yeah, Dream a Little Dream, chuck in there. Chuck in the second one free. But yeah, awesome soundtrack. License to Drive, again I'm reaching here. But License to Drive totally needs release. I mean, it's 20th Century Fox. Spot the obvious. So Tremors are done. Hey, fucking hell, Die Hard as a solo. Not gonna happen. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original. That would be bitchin'. Just the artwork would be class. John Carpenter. Like, could they not sneak a John Carpenter off? In the Mouth of Madness. Salt and President 13's already been out. I think the only one that could really snipe would be In the Mouth of Madness, wouldn't it? One Crazy Summer. I hope One Crazy Summer comes out on HMV Premium Collection because it's a Warner Bros. Title. Watches. I love Watches. Watches is amazing. I love Watches. There you go, Watches. That should totally be released. I'm just random time. Jaws 2? Jaws 2, right? Jaws 2 isn't as bad as you remember it, right? There'll be loads of fucking hype around Jaws 2. There's a story to be told about Jaws 2. What I'd say about Jaws fucking 3 and 4, but no, Jaws 2, chuck that one in there. Still Event Horizon, Highlander 2, definitely. Rocketeer is never going to come out. Drop Zone, well, no chance of that. Johnny Mnemonics getting a release very soon. Oh, the Jackal, I do love the Jackal. Freaked. Seriously, right? There's a cult following for Freaked. Just look at Mondo releasing the vinyl. And Alex Winter now, everywhere you look at the minute, Alex Winter. Not when I wake up in the morning and see a picture of me and the Lost Boys and I'm standing next to Alex Winter. Freaked. Freaked would be fucking mint on Arrow. Big box, soundtrack. Miss T, be the one. A lot of people love Bill and Ted. I'm like, have you seen Freaked? What? Just deadpan this. I'm like, have you not seen Freaked? Like Keanu Reeves' dog. He's Ortiz. Yeah.
They're fucking running out here.
Godzilla 85. That would be a bow down to the moment. Godzilla 85 on Arrow. Golden. But yeah, I think this is it really. Yeah, just everything's fucking packed away now. I've got no ammunition. Running out. King Kong lives. Again, though, it could happen. Well, Arrow, anything really could happen. I'm not saying fucking Count Duckley is going to come out. It's a special appearance where David Jason plays Count Duckley in real life, running around. He's a castle, but yeah, shit fucking can get read. Scream. That's the very end of this video. Scream. Just seen the Scream mask fucking creeping out the corner. Scream. But they'll always box them together now, won't they? 1 to 3 anyway. And then 5's coming out. But again, what Arrow's done is great. For fans, they're sort of, right, Joe Dante, knock, knock, knock. Don't move. We want everything you got on the burbs. Get the work print and everything. But like, as a fan, you get like, if you know and you love the film, you're like, right, I want the big box, I want the steelbook. Could probably have both if you're a big fan. But then again, a lot of people like me, myself, like personally, just looking along the Arrow collection there, stuff like Demons, fucking mental. Again, Psycho 2, Day of the Jackal. Just films that, like, I mean, Knight Riders was a bit fucking weird, but I wouldn't have seen them if less than on an Arrow label. I picked them up and I'm like, right, it's Arrow. You know, I trust Arrow. I trust Arrow to get, like, not only present a film in its best glory that I've never seen it, or like Trip from Memory Lane, the extra features, the extra content, you know what I mean? And some of the special editions go for daft money. Absolutely daft money. My friend Carl's been after the Waterworld special edition, and he didn't pre-order it, and it just went boof, you know? Mental. Right, well, as I say, welcome to Lonely Tree Entertainment. If you're a fan of Arrows, loads of stuff, but again, I would like to interact with you, see what you think, and see what you think is going to come out. For now, thanks for watching. Goodbye for now. Hello, welcome to the outtakes of the Arrow video. This video was finished, rendered, after a massive rant at the time. I've just realised I've done an absolute balls here. So yeah, I just need to skip down a lot of messages. I sent it to Brittany. I'll tell you all the story in a second. So, when I get on track, Mallrats. Totally forgot about Mallrats. Mallrats said it's hitting delays, but Mallrats is getting released. I put a message out there to my movie group, and a few people chucked a few things out, and I think I mainly brought them into the list. But I finished work with Casper the other night, and then I was talking to Casper about it. And he goes, "Oh, what about me?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Well, I sent you a list." And I was like, "You sent me a list, did you, Casper?" So rather than send it to me personally on Messenger, he put it in the group. And of course, I mean, for example, the day I looked at my phone, I had something like 116 messages at one point, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? So anyway, like, all these messages going down. So Casper, it took me from walking from work to the car with Casper, and we had to like backtrace the last couple of days of when Casper had sent us this message. So yeah, Casper had sent us this message, and these are Casper's picks. Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, Maximum Overdrive is one of Casper's. Casper will buy anything. Maximum Overdrive, I can see that coming out on HMV's premium label, or what did Repo Man come under? That's a weird label. Eureka. Eureka seems to go weird. I think Eureka don't really do the high street kind of stuff now. They've really gone to like just straight from their website, which again, it's kind of like, again, what Arrow have got themselves very commercialized, and again making offers and stuff like that, because some of they bring out and they're quite expensive, but again, I think with cult films as well, they need to be in kind of some kind of multi-buy, you know what I mean? Because again, it's going back to the old video shop days, the Discovery, like, alright, it's on off, I'll get that one. Never fucking heard of that. Look at that. Oh, wait, right, I'll get that. And again, it's maybe that old school VHS thing. Deep Star 6. I'm sure. No, it wasn't Deep Star 6. It was The Deep. Came out, didn't it, recently? Deep Star 6. Seawolves. Wild Geese 2. Wild Geese is out on Arrow. Casper loves these war films and stuff. So you've got their Mega Force. I don't know these films. Silver Bullet. Fucking caught and big Casper. Silver Bullet has seen the light of day in America. Silver Bullet is fucking class. Silver Bullet is a very early Corey Haim film, and also Stephen King, inspired by a circle of a werewolf. Seen it today on VHS, got it on Laserdisc and VHS. Cult film. Seen a woman today, actually, funny enough. She was buying American Werewolf in London. Silver Bullet's something that should get remade from the Stephen King revamp at the moment. If you can get the original landscape version of it on DVD, the director, who only ever directed one film, does a brilliant commentary. Absolutely brilliant commentary track, and it's got a few good extra features. There's been some mint artwork released. It's him on his bike. I've been wanting to buy it a few times, but like, it's the shipping from America and then the customs charge. It's just like, fuck that anyway. So that's a good pick, Casper. Fort Apparatus, The Bronx, no idea. The Hitcher, already mentioned The Hitcher. Battle Beyond the Stars, Truck Battle, Over the Top. Over the Top, I'm honestly going to say, is one of the worst DVDs I've ever seen transfer. Like, I was absolutely shocked at how bad of quality Over the Top was. So, I can't see Over the Top. I can see Over the Top maybe it's on 88 Films or 101 Black Label. I can't see it on Arrow. Piranha. Piranha has been released, hasn't it? Because there's a steelbook of it. He's only saying Piranha because Piranha 2 came out, and like, I remember some person came and asked to buy for it, and I was like, Casper's already bought it. Part of Casper's job processing stock, he gets first dibs on everything. Fortress 1 and 2 is a fucking corker. I'm not sure about the second one, right? Got the second one on VHS still. Fortress 1, it's been perfect example for Fortress. It's been out of print for fucking ages, hasn't it? So like, Fortress is mint. It's absolutely mint. Fortress 2, same idea, in space. What the fuck? But no, Fortress definitely. Stuart Gordon film. Again, a lot of Stuart Gordon films have been popping up on it's not going to be there, is it? Or I've already packed it. Space Truckers. There's a lot of Stuart Gordon films popped up out on so 101 films, Dolls, or it's 88 films. It's one of them. Yeah. Spaced Invaders. No. BMX Bandits. A lot of people want that. Blue Thunder. High Risk. And last but not least, No Escape. No Escape. No Escape's a weird one. Really oughta. I just packed that the other day. Yeah, that definitely needs a release. I'm not sure if it's an Arrow release. Again, you can kind of look at going, well, you didn't see Mallrats. And the thing is about Mallrats, right? And talking about that, Scream was probably my last choice. That's a Miramax. The thing is, if Miramax are now dealing with Arrow, there's nothing stopping Pulp Fiction. Anything Miramax had the fingers in. Marvin's Room. But Scream is definitely, if Mallrats has come across. Again, they're Kevin Smith films. Because a lot of his films, Dogma's under film 4, so you know what I mean. You're not going to get a fucking Kevin Smith collection, but again, if Miramax are dealing with Arrow, it's a different thing. It's just, I would love to see Beetlejuice, but it's not going to happen. You know, I mean, Beetlejuice has been. There's a certain films that get resurrected, but then you're never going to see Jurassic Park appear on Arrow because it's under Universal. You can't just take that for give. Would everyone like to see Escape from New York? No, it's already been out in Studio Canal. You know what I mean? But even Studio Canal, but their box sets are getting ridiculously expensive in re edition. So they're like, look at the Total Recall that comes out in November. It's like 50 fucking quid. Jesus. So yeah, what's next for Arrow? Hopefully, this is just a massive spiel rant to interact with people, and it was originally done, mastered, and meant to be uploading, but then Casper was like, we fucking just better be in it. I was getting, alright, here we go. So thanks for watching. This is the very end of the video. Goodbye for now.